Hello and welcome to Inspiration Toolbox. I'm Natasha Rochelle, your host, your friend, and your biggest cheerleader. In this space, we explore small tools that lead to big transformations, and we turn inspiration into action. Let's get started. Well, hi guys. It's recording. This is it. This is a big moment. This is huge. This is the very first episode of this new podcast. This is episode number 1. I'm so happy to be here. I'm so happy that you're here. And this has been a long time coming. I've been wanting to do this for so long, so many weeks, months, years. And guess what stopped me? Guess what kept getting in the way? The same thing that probably has kept you from starting something important in your life. That force, that sneaky, frustrating, energy draining creature, monster, time-stealing beast called procrastination. I actually gave him a nickname. I call him Delayed Zilla. Delayed Zilla is constantly knocking over your to-do list, always saying later, I'll do it later, mañana. Delayed Zilla lives in the back of your head. He's saying, you're not ready, almost there. We just need to prepare a little bit longer. Not yet. Sounds familiar? Chances are, if you are here with me today, you have Delayed Zilla as a pet. I've certainly had him as a pet for most of my life, and that's what I want to talk about today with you. And it feels right for this first episode to be talking about the very thing that almost kept it from happening, that certainly delayed it for a very long time. Procrastination is a big theme. It's a complex topic because it's not just about lack of discipline or not being productive. It's about emotions. It's about anxiety. It's about shame. It's about grief, all the time that we feel that we've wasted. It's also, of course, about perfectionism, but it's also about your environment. That's a big one, and your identity. And that's my favorite aspect. And that's one of the ones I want to talk about today. Your identity, how we see ourselves. That plays a huge role in whether we take action or put things off. The assumptions we have about ourselves, our self-image, how we talk to ourselves about ourselves all day long. There is a book, a very famous book, I'm sure you've read it, Atomic Habits by James Clear. And if you haven't read that book, what? Have you been hiding under a rock? If you haven't read that book, please press pause on this tape and tape? What is this? 1980? Press pause. Press pause on this tape. Press pause on this podcast. And please get yourself a copy of Atomic Habits by James Clear. He's amazing. So I'm still thinking about the tapes. The tapes. Some of you guys never had tapes. I've revealed how old I am. I had tapes, I had records, tapes, and then CDs. All right, so James Clear, throughout the book, he talks about this idea that our habits are shaped by our identity. And he gives this great example of 2 people who are offered a cigarette. And the first one says, "No thanks, I'm trying to quit," which seems like a reasonable response, as James Clear points out. "No thanks, I'm trying to quit." And the second person says, "No thanks, I'm not a smoker. I'm not a smoker." That is the shift. That is the shift in identity. They no longer identify as someone who smokes. That person is gone. This is big. We need to shift the way we look at ourselves. What are we repeating all day long? My teacher says, What mantra are you repeating over and over and over? I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. I don't have what it takes. That's a mantra. I'm always late. I'm always late. I'm always late. I'm not a morning person. I'm not a morning person. I'm terrible with directions. I'm terrible with directions. I'm too old. That's a favorite. I'm too old. I'm too old. I'm too old. I'm too old. That's a mantra. We need to become aware of these mantras. We need to make them conscious. We need to be really careful how we label ourselves. It's like we're giving our brain a job description. Hey, just so you know, I'm really bad at this. Please continue to operate accordingly. No more. We need to flip the script. Take the example of calling yourself a procrastinator. Instead of labeling yourself a procrastinator, you start seeing yourself as someone who takes action, even in a very small way. Every time you catch yourself in negative self-talk, and that's the key, right? You want to be able to catch yourself. You replace it with a more empowering thought. For example, if you keep repeating, I don't have enough time, I don't have enough time, you flip it. You flip it to, I can start with just 5 minutes. You have 5 minutes, come on. Or if you keep repeating, I'm not good enough, I'm not good enough, you flip it. You flip it to, I'm learning and improving every day, which is true. You keep flipping that script, and even if you don't fully believe it yet, the brain starts aligning with this new identity. You know what this really helps me with? With exercising. Every morning I wake up and I put on my workout clothes. And a lot of times I don't feel like working out first thing in the morning. But then I ask myself, and I do that every morning, I stop and I ask myself, wait, what kind of person am I? Oh yeah, I'm someone who is an active person. I'm someone who takes care of my body. I'm someone who moves every day. And that does it. That's the shift that gets me out the door every morning. Same with food. Let's say you want to lose weight. Don't just tell yourself, I need to lose 3 kilos or pounds wherever you live. Don't just tell yourself that. Ask yourself, who am I? Oh yeah, I'm someone who respects my health. I'm someone who enjoys feeling good after I eat. I'm someone who listens to what my body needs. You see the difference? The key here is to keep it identity focused rather than restriction. Instead of saying, I can't eat this, I have to be healthy. No. You say, I'm the kind of person who nourishes my body. So it's not about rules anymore. It's not about depriving myself. It's about aligning my choices with the kind of person I want to be. All right, so now let's look at another aspect of procrastination, which is probably the biggest one. And that is not starting small. Or as I like to call it, the myth of the grand beginning. Needing to be fully clear on my vision before I start. Needing hours of uninterrupted time. And when I don't have that time, I don't start at all. That's the trap. That's a big trap. Because we're not avoiding the task itself. We are avoiding how overwhelming, how big it feels. We're staring at our friend Delayed Zilla, and we don't even know where to start. So we don't start. We do something else instead. We grab our phone. We suddenly remember we need to call a friend. We need to clean our fridge. Or we need to reorganize our bookshelf by color, genre, and emotional impact. I actually did that. Not the emotional impact part, but I did organize my bookshelf by color, and it does look really good. So we do something else. Or we need to read just one more article about productivity. And then one more after that, until we have a PhD in avoiding work. Because when something feels too big, the brain treats it like a threat. And when the brain senses this discomfort, it looks for an escape. The moment the brain senses that something is going to be hard, not fun, hard, it hits the panic button. It wants to avoid stress. So when it sees a big, complicated task, it's like, nope, too much effort. Let's go do literally anything else instead. And so that's why doing something else, like checking on your house plants because, it's been warm outside and they might need water, that feels way more urgent than starting your actual work. Sounds familiar? So what is your signature procrastination move? What's the thing you always end up doing instead of what you were supposed to do? Are you a just one more episode kind of person? Or are you a cleaning machine? Or are you an endless scroller? I'm just checking Instagram for another 5 minutes. Or are you the over-researcher, needing to read 5 more articles and 3 books before you can start? Or are you the ritual addict? Certainly, I'm guilty of that one. Needing to have made the perfect coffee and put on the perfect playlist. It has to be the right energy, Or are you the list maker? Oh, that is me. The most perfect to-do list, and everything is rearranged and categorized and color-coded. Do you recognize any of those? I certainly do. What are yours? What is your version? What is your go-to escape? Notice it, because once you become aware of your escape mechanisms, it gets a lot easier to catch yourself in the act and get back on track. So that's when the magic of starting small comes in. When something feels so big, so impossible, the trick is to shrink it down until it feels ridiculously doable, until it's so easy that your brain can no longer argue with it. In Atomic Habits, James Clear calls that the 2-minute rule, which means that when you start a new habit, it should take less than 2 minutes to do. 2 minutes? Like, what do you accomplish in 2 minutes? Well, as we just said, the idea is to keep it ridiculously easy. 2 minutes is easy. The beginning cannot feel like it's a challenge, or you're not going to start. You won't show up if it's hard. So you start with 2 minutes. Let's say you want to read more. So you pick up a time that you're going to read and you read just 1 page. Or you want to do more yoga. So put down your mat and do 1 pose. And obviously, eventually you'll do more. But at the beginning, you keep it very, very small. So that's what I did with my workout, specifically with running. I used to be a runner. I used to run a lot, and I wanted to see if I could pick it up again. It had been years. So I applied the 2-minute rule, or actually, in my case, the 10-minute rule. Every morning, I'd wake up, put on my running shoes, and head out for a quick run. Just around the block. 10 minutes, that's it. And that was very doable. It felt easy. In fact, almost too easy. But because it was easy, I stuck with it. Day after day after day. If I had just told myself instead, I really need to start running again, my brain would have come up with all sorts of excuses. I would have never started. But 10 minutes was easy. And pretty quickly, I wanted to run more. I had the energy. I wanted to keep going. But I didn't. Not for a while. And that's crucial. Don't immediately increase the time. Increase it very slowly, very gradually. You do that on purpose because consistency matters more than intensity. You're building a rhythm. You're building a relationship. You're building something that lasts. You let it grow slowly without pressure, and then it sticks. And that's the secret of starting small. It sticks. It becomes part of you. It becomes your identity. I now proudly call myself a runner. I still run every single day. In the book, he says something I love. He says, a habit must be established before it can be improved. You have to standardize before you can optimize. I love that. That is spot on. All right, so what's the smallest step you can take right now to get started? What's the smallest action you can take? What's the one little thing that will help you make progress? Maybe it's putting on your running shoes. Maybe it's drinking one glass of water. Or it's reading just one page of that book that's been on your bedside table. Just one page. Open it, read a few lines, and close it. And pick it up again tomorrow. And the day after tomorrow. Because repetition is what rewires your brain. What time is it? Do we have time for one more? We have time for one more. Okay, let's look at another aspect of our dear friend Delayedzilla. What if we've been calling him the wrong thing? What if we've been labeling him all wrong? What if we've been giving him the wrong identity? What if instead of being this huge, terrifying monster, he's actually a cute little nervous puppy hiding behind the couch? Think about that for a second. What if instead of calling him Delayedzilla, we actually call him Procrastipup? Procrastipup. This adorable, sweet, cute, snuggly, fluffy puppy. And Procrastipup is full of good intentions. He's just trying to protect us. Trying to protect us from failure, trying to protect us from judgment, from criticism, from overwhelm. He's worried about us. What if you can't handle this? What if you mess up? He imagines all the ways it could go wrong, and then he says, no, don't risk it. Let's wait. Let's not do it today. It's safer that way. He creates that barrier from the possibility of being judged, of being rejected, and he blocks you from putting yourself out there so no one can criticize you. If you don't try, you don't fail. So he's actually really trying to just help us. Can you see this? Can you see how innocent he is? He means well. It is crucial for us to see this, to understand this. And it is crucial for us to become really familiar with these fears he's trying to protect us from, to touch these fears. The fear of being hurt, the fear of being rejected, the fear of judgment, the fear of not being good enough. Because that's why we delay things so much. There's a great exercise we can do together some other time. It's a great technique to transcend this. Because if we don't transcend these fears, they'll stay. The only way out is through, as the saying goes. But for now, just becoming aware of them is already a huge shift. We're making the unconscious conscious. Awareness is the foundation. Does it make sense? All right, so let's quickly review what we have explored so far. We explored how procrastination is deeply, deeply tied to identity, that we have to be careful what we call ourselves, otherwise we reinforce that identity and act in a way that confirms it. We explored the incredible power of small steps and tiny actions and how over time they do create a significant change. And then we reframed Delayedzilla into Procrastipup, and we realized we actually have nothing to be afraid of. Voila! Wow, there is so much more I want to explore with you. This is a very deep topic, which is very close to my heart. But for now, I am officially declaring this episode done. And I'm going to celebrate by taking a bubble bath. And I want to thank you for being with me on this first episode. Oh, I'm getting emotional. Seriously, you've made my day. I cannot wait to continue this journey with you, to continue exploring with you, growing with you. And I am super, super grateful that we are on this adventure together. See you next time. Bye. And if you want to ask me anything, you can find me on Instagram at Inspiration Toolbox. Okay, bye.